Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the front line. This is Joe Pasillo, and once more, let us go into the breach. I love Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I have always really liked her from the time she got on the at the podium as press secretary, and she let the left have it. She is, and in the previous clip that I showed Marjorie Taylor Greene, I put Sarah Huckabee on a whole new level. Okay, Sarah Huckabee Sanders on a whole new level. She's rapid fire. They don't know how to deal with her. She's smart. She is truthful. She calls it the way it is. And that's what I want to talk about real quick, okay? I'm not going to be long-winded, but I do want to cover this 45 seconds of truth bomb. So let's have a look.
And while you reap the consequences of their failures, the Biden administration seems more interested in woke fantasies than the hard reality Americans face every day.
Their failures are deliberate. They have jacked up the price of oil deliberately by suppressing production of oil to appease the climate wackos out there. Okay. So everything that they're doing is deliberate. Remember something. We're not dealing with Joe Biden, Mr. Liberal Democrat, okay, who doesn't have an original thought in his head. Okay. We're dealing with the hard left. I would say AOC, but AOC is not smart enough to be the hard left. We're dealing with those who control Joe Biden, those who pull the strings on AOC. They're smart people. They know what they're doing. So you're right, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. They're failures, but I would point out their failures are deliberate. They're by design, all of it.
Most Americans simply want to live their lives in freedom and peace. But we are under attack in a left-wing culture war we didn't start and never wanted to fight.
That's right. Because, see, in America, they talk about freedom, and I know exactly what they'll say, but you're not into freedom because you don't want to give me the right to choose. That's right, because you can't take a human life. And you always want to, whenever a Republican or a conservative talks about freedom, you automatically pivot to abortion. You don't have the right to kill your kid. Now, leaving that aside for a second, all right? You want to be gay? You don't want to listen to the church or anybody else? Okay. I don't know what to tell you. Okay. But here's one thing you're not going to do. And this is what she's talking about. We didn't invite you into the schools to teach our children that being gay was okay. Okay. Or to indoctrinate them with gender ideology, with critical race theory, with any of it. You entered in. Okay, going back to the Supreme Court, back in the day, I forgot the case in the early 1950s, when the Supreme Court entered the culture war through the school prayer decision. Okay, and ever since then, it's been all downhill. They hate this Supreme Court because this Supreme Court's undoing that. All right, Roe versus Wade is much larger than abortion. All right, so Sarah Huckabee Sanders is exactly right. We didn't ask for this culture war, but you want to know something? The gloves are off. You know, Joe and I are fighting at the front line with Joe and Joe. Many of you good people out there fighting at the front, fighting the battles where you are. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, God bless her, who is now the governor of Arkansas. Well, she's fighting the fight. You want to know why she'll be successful? Because she knows who the enemy is. Let's continue.
Every day we are told we must partake in their rituals, salute their flags, and worship their false idols.
Let's talk about that real quick. What's their rituals? Abortion. Abortion's their ritual. Okay. They've now they've officially publicly, we used to call it abortion was the sacrament, the diabolical sacrament of the left. They're saying it now. They're not hiding it. Okay. So yes, they make us have to partake in their rituals. And if you think I'm exaggerating, they want to compel pro-life medical students in order to get their medical licenses to have to learn how to perform abortions. Okay. Not only learn them, but compel them in the future to perform abortion. So yes, they're not just asking for tolerance. They're asking that you actually participate in their diabolical sacrament. Number one. Number two, yeah, you got to worship their flags. All right. In June, their flags are all over the place. Okay. And you got to genuflect when you see that flag, or put your hand on your heart, or salute in some way. So yeah, they make you salute their flags and their idols. Go look at the new statue that's on top of the New York City courthouse. Okay, if you want to see something freaky right out of sacred scripture, something that would have been made by the most depraved of societies like the Canaanites or something like that. Go look at that diabolical statue on the top of the New York City courthouse, and you'll see all you need to see. Let's continue.
All while big government colludes with big tech to strip away the most American thing there is, your freedom of speech.
So let's leave it there. But here's the thing, I want to end on this where she ended. Okay. That's exactly why we're here. If you look at the left on the political level, if everybody knew, if they actually ran on the things and told people what they actually believe, they wouldn't get elected dog catcher. That's not an exaggeration. They wouldn't get elected dog catcher. You go out to a Democrat, run of the mill, average, rank and file Democrat out somewhere in the Midwest and tell them, we want a program in the public schools because we're going to tell your 5-year-old boy that he could be a girl or your 6-year-old girl that she could be a boy. And they're going to say, hell no. Hell no. And no, I won't vote for you for dog catcher, let alone the school board. Okay. But why is what Sarah Huckabee Sanders is saying so important? Because they want to collude with big tech, which is, by the way, government and big business. So we're talking about fascism here, real fascism, not the way they throw around the word, real fascism. Okay, for a political end, which is to subvert and undermine the First Amendment to the Constitution, your right to speak freely. Because the more we could speak freely, the more we raise the consciousness of the American people to see through this evil agenda, which is being proposed by the left. So let's get it straight. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, you are welcome at the front line with Joe and Joe. Anytime you want to come on, I'm sure we'd have a great conversation.